It's time we give back. Sow a seed and show someone where love's at. Even if you don't give a dime, give your heart and share your time. Help somebody else in life. Give back. Let's give back.
Welcome. I'm your host, Hosea James Givan II, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Ignite, Empower, Transform, where we showcase urban superheroes here in the Bronx and around the world. Today, we have two very special guests coming out of Des Moines, Iowa. They'll be showcasing and sharing with us a program that they initiated, I See You. First up, we have the son, Jonnell Marion. Thank you for joining us, my brother.
I appreciate the invite. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. We set this program up hoping that we can have both you and your dad on at the same time, but unfortunately, due to some technical limitations, we're not going to be able to do it as we had envisioned. But we're going to focus on you first and get some important information about the organization. But we're going to start out talking about you, man. Can you give us? You grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, a black young man. Give us a little bit of that history, man.
Absolutely. Actually, I grew up in a couple of the suburbs of Des Moines, which makes it even that much more interesting. Clive and West Des Moines. And so grew up in a majority white school district, West Des Moines School District. And I found over the years I had similar situations that other people had. I felt like I was kind of like a polka dot amongst a whole bunch of white polka dots. And so, people curious about my hair and wanting to touch my hair, and finding that voice and being able to, ask questions with my father, especially on how to figure out how to address some of the ways in which I am going to get my space respected as I'm getting older. My father, noticing that he's acknowledging people, random black brothers and sisters that are walking, and just kind of wondering, how do you know all these people? I don't remember you meeting them. And he says, hey, when we're in Iowa, and it's not very many of us, then you acknowledge. And especially just being able to lean on the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, specifically the Zeta Kappa Lambda chapter. As far back as I can remember, they've been instrumental in my development. So being able to have them there and to have examples of what a black man and how he moves and how he maneuvers in this world and in corporate America, it was an interesting time, but I learned a lot.
That's what's up, man. You know, I know you had talked about your involvement with our brotherhood, Alpha Phi Alpha. You left the Des Moines school system, and then you went on to college. Where'd you go to college, man? And I understand you were a top level athlete in college.
Yes, I got involved a lot. I did some track, but actually I played the violin, I played the alto saxophone, was a part of jazz band, the orchestra, and all that stuff. But my love was basketball, and that's where I found my niche, my competitive edge. Got involved in a lot of extracurricular, different educational activities, but I went on to double major in marketing and international business at Iowa State University. And I played basketball there. I was able to walk on, but I had a couple of knee injuries that took me out. I didn't go to college just to play ball, but I did have an opportunity to study Mandarin Chinese for a year, the language. Did a study tour in China. I loved it. Went to the Great Wall, Beijing, Duong, and Shanghai. I got that bug that I wanted to travel more. I went to Greece, study abroad for a full semester. Went to Austria, Slovakia, Spain, Italy, and Crete as well. But I think what I really enjoyed was some leadership stuff that I did involved my involvement with the Black Student Alliance. So I I got involved with the freshman outreach, but quickly saw that I was needed in some leadership roles to be able to get the Black Culture Center renovated, and eventually became the Black Student Alliance president. So I had quite the college career.
So you're a world traveler, man. That's what's up, brother. You know, I think once you have an opportunity to experience different cultures from around the world, it helps you gain greater perspective and appreciation for what we have here. And so you went from your college experience, and you got involved with the corporate world, and I think your corporate experiences kind of help to prepare you for what we'll be talking more about in the next segment, the creation of the program ICU. But how did that corporate experience help develop your mindset in terms of developing what you created?
Well, actually, I got some good practice. I had 4 internships, the summer internships, while I was attending Iowa State University, and so that got my feet wet. But definitely traveling, being at a university that has people from many backgrounds. I think over 150 countries are represented of people that attend Iowa State. It allowed me to become more culturally agile. And I quickly found out that when I entered corporate America, feeling that I did what I needed to be well-rounded, that there were things about the status quo and how the mainstream, how they interact with one another, that there were opportunities for some teachable moments, keeping things really simple, and things that we're still limping along with till this day. We're getting better, but it's we still have a long ways to go. Yes. Yes,
we do, man. And in our next segment, we're going to talk about the organization that you and your dad created, ICU. And so we're going to take a brief public service announcement break, and we'll be right back.
You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back to this second segment of Ignite, Empower, Transform. I'm your host, Hosea James Givan II, and we are here with Jonnell Marion. And today, he's going to share with us a major project that he's involved with his dad, ICU. Jonnell, tell us about the magnificent vision that you had to develop ICU.
Absolutely. ICU stands for Inclusive Cultural University. Inclusive Cultural University is not an actual brick and mortar university. So again, I go with the acronym ICU, and the emblem, which is what brings this platform, this brand to life, should look like an eye. And the mission is to empower each person with the consciousness of the part they play to promote an inclusive, safe, and equitable society. It's a simple message of substance. It's about hitting the reset button. I see you, I respect you, I acknowledge you. And ultimately, it was created to pretty much address some of the most polarizing issues of our society, some of the things that fracture us, even our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, things that we talk about behind closed doors, and addressing some biases, some prejudices that we carry with us. There's an amazing story that comes with how it was developed, but I just wanted to make sure that this is not something necessarily that it's beyond me, and it's not necessarily about me, hence again, the ICU. I want to know about you, I want to respect you, so we can be able to agree to disagree where we need to, but be able to invite you, communicate, unite. Simple.
Yeah, man. Coming, you're only 3.5 hours away from the epicenter of what I believe has changed the world, and that was the George Floyd incident. So you're in close proximity to where everything jumped off, and I know coming from that experience, it has really created greater value for what you and your dad are involved with. We just had this past weekend the very horrific, unfortunate incident that took place up in Buffalo, New York, where lives were taken, racially motivated to destroy our people. I know that your efforts, you and your dad's efforts, will help to stem the tide, will help to hopefully change hearts and minds in terms of trying to create greater racial harmony. So who are some of the partners, and how do you go about engaging folks with your organization?
Absolutely, I appreciate that question. For one, we have family in Buffalo, New York, so my father wanted to make sure he did his due diligence to ensure that they were safe, and always prayers and thoughts to people that were impacted. But prayers and thoughts, they can only do so much when there's an opportunity to take action. There's a plan of action. Keeping things simple. We want to create partnerships with law enforcement. So over the past 5 to 6 years, I've been doing that here in Central Iowa. Basically, the chiefs of police, they're aware, and we have to start with leadership. And we're bringing the community and the police department closer together. It's meant to be very simple. There are certain things historically that's taken place, and it's about symbolism, that people are not comfortable with law enforcement, especially in the melanated community. We're looking to diffuse and address those, and we need to be able to have those conscious, clarifying conversations. In schools, we want to address bullying and drugs. Our youth are our future. We're seeing what's taking place in our educational institutions, and there's people on the front line that they're quitting in mass numbers. I have 2 sons. I have a responsibility to pass this world off better than I found it. And so ultimately, what we're looking to do is look for the institutions, educational institutions, corporations, individuals, and organizations that are about being able to find where they can get in the game, basically. How you can be able to declare yourself as a safe zone and ensure that you utilize your influence and leverage your influence to be a part of the solution and not part of the problem. It's really simple.
Right. And again, given the nature of our current society and the high level of racial tension right now, how would you gauge success? When will you know you have achieved your goal? What would that world look like?
Well, I like to say that this is not just another movement or organization. There are a lot that are very instrumental, but I feel like as of right now, we have a lot of great things that are taking place, a lot of great organization movements. but we're just so fractured. Positive people doing positive, we're just so fractured. How can we be able to have an opportunity to kind of move in one direction? And so this is a campaign, and I call this a campaign of consciousness. And so the idea is a success looks like this: partnership. Success looks like when we can be able to have tangible, genuine conversation and be able to agree to disagree and be able to have testimonials of how we've been able to have forged partnerships and alliances. It's good on paper to be able to say, hey, we're for diversity and inclusion. But if we don't know what it looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like, then they're just words. And what we do, what ICU does, we do workshops and sessions with law enforcement. We go into schools, and also we work with corporate America and have corporate partnerships on how we can create safe spaces to have positive human interactions. I've been told that this is Inclusive Cultural University, the way in which we approach, not just talk about just race, and we talk about what race looks like. We're talking about people. We're talking about the human condition. They said that ICU, this is what ICU reflects what inclusion looks like, what it feels like, and what it sounds like, to be able to have positive human interactions from a CEO down to a child.
Hey man, you have brought some wisdom, and you're clearly wise beyond your years, man. And in this next segment, we're going to actually have an opportunity to talk to the elder of the partnership, your dad, Dell. But I want to thank you, brother, for taking the time to share your vision with us. And I look forward to being supportive in whatever way I can to help spread your message.
I appreciate the invite, like I said, and I will be reaching out to you for us to talk more offline. I appreciate you. Take care, brother.
Yes, sir, Frat. And we'll be right back after this public service announcement.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
To get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Welcome back to this final segment of Ignite, Empower, Transform. We are going to be graced with the presence of the elder of the Partnership for ICU, Mr. Jonnell Marion. Dell is from Des Moines, Iowa, and he's going to share with us more about his perspective of the ICU program. Welcome, Dell.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Man, it's good to see you, man. It's good to have you on this show, man.
Good to be seen.
Amen. 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 Hey, brother, first of all, I want to say to my audience, I had the opportunity to spend 3 days last week in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm working on a documentary, and Dell's a part of that project, and as well as Centennial celebration. And this brother was the most amazing host in terms of just his brotherhood and support and love that he was able to show. So I'm so glad that we were able to get him and his son on our program, because I learned so much about their project. And as you heard in the previous 2 segments, he's done an amazing job raising his eldest son. So Del, we want to talk about that article, man, because everywhere we went, you had that art, you had this magazine. Like I saw you pass it out like 50 times over the course of the 3 days that I was with you, man. Let's talk about that very special article, man, because that must have been an amazing feeling to have you and your son featured in a major magazine in the community or in the city in which you guys are part of.
The great thing about it is it's just the beginning. I'm a marketing major as well. And I know that at times, if you don't promote yourself, no one else will. So I believe in what my son has created. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to the end. And so that's what I do.
Amen. Amen. So, I opened up the article and I see this beautiful picture of you and your son in downtown Des Moines, and it makes it seem like you guys are like the kings of the city, man. You're bringing about this amazing program, ICU, and developing the partnerships that I know that you helped to create, because you are out there. You are out there interacting with different entities within the Des Moines community.
I strongly believe that this will at one day will be the #1 option in our country in terms of bringing people together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you have lived in Des Moines for the last 30 years.
32 years.
32 years. But you're a Chicago guy, man. You
Hey,
born and raised in
West Side Chicago.
You in one of the toughest neighborhoods in this country, right? And that helped to fortify and develop your ideas and your sense of commitment to understanding that we have to do more for young men based on your own personal experience. You and I shared an experience recently. One of the things that I try to do wherever I go, I try to visit a barbershop in the community, in the Black community of the city that I'm visiting. I've been in barbershops in Atlanta, I've been in barbershops in Washington, D.C., I've been in barbershops in Los Angeles, London, England, Philadelphia, throughout many parts of this country and even parts of this world. But the most gut-wrenching experience I had was the barbershop visit in Des Moines, Iowa. Can you just share with our audience what we experienced and what we saw?
Well, I'll tell you something. It was sad because this is happening too often throughout our entire country, that we have people of color, especially young men of color, that are falling short within their life frame, and then they take it out on others without knowing that they're doing so. So this particular situation was just me and a young lady from Chicago having a genuine conversation, and them eavesdropping into the conversation, not knowing how to merge themselves into the conversation in a positive way, and decided to attack. And so, I certainly take offense to that, but, because of where I grew up, I kind of know how to manage it as well. Those 2 young men also asked for my business card, and as I spoke to you, it's been 2 weeks now, and they have not reached out to me. I plan on going in there again and just having some genuine conversations with them, but this is happening all over the country, and it's really sad.
I think one of the things that disturbed me most about that whole experience was the lack of deference, the lack of respect, and coming out of the education system. I was fortunate to be able to kind of position myself in such a way where, we want to try to command respect where we can. But then as you get to a certain age, I see a lot of our older people, they're struggling to really properly understand the respect that the elders truly deserve, man. And I think that's something that we're going to have to overcome as a community, as a people, because it's the elders that have the wisdom to share. And if you're not willing to hear and listen and understand the challenges that we face and the way we overcame those challenges, then we're going to miss a piece of how we can pass that information on. And that information is so valuable.
You're absolutely correct. I was with a fraternity brother of ours just yesterday again, Tom Spencer, who we recognize as Black and Gold Ball. Tom will be 97 this year.
Wow.
And he is sharp as a tack. And
Yep.
he was offering me information, in order to help my son and I in our pursuit. That's what ICU is all about. ICU, the bottom denominator of ICU is respect. And so that's a lost art of a lot of people today, with law enforcement, in schools, in corporate America, and in our community. And so that's the landscape right now that my son and I want to paint a brush over and reintroduce respect back into our communities.
Okay, brother. And knowing how you go at things, having been around you as often as I have been over the last month or so, I am certain that you guys will reach your full vision in terms of just making sure that it has the impact that it's supposed to have. So I want to thank you, Brother Janelle Marion, for joining us for this episode of Ignite, Empower, Transform. And brother, any way in which I can support you, you know I will.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Ignite, Empower, Transform. I was your host, Hosea James Givan II. And remember, if it's in your heart, do your part. Today's help equals tomorrow's hope. I love our youth. Power to the people.